Greetings, fellow traders. Jason here. How you doing today? Tokyo session here, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday, March 30th. Hope you're doing great today and this evening. Just taking a look at the Chinese news coming through. I'm still sicker than a dog, and so I apologize. I'm probably keep this pretty short tonight. And if the video is a little bit laggy, I know my voice isn't matching with my lips all that much, but I guess I got to get a new computer. I bought all sorts of pieces, and it's just not working. So bye-bye to this $4,000 or $5,000 computer I've had for a long time. But looking at the charts here, first thing I want to pull up is Andrew's relative strength meter that we have. And we can see the strength coming through on the Great British Pound and the yen. And the one that has taken the most movement here in the last hour, as you all know, is the Japanese yen. So we see the strength starting to come back into the market now on the 5 and 15-minute charts. Our pairs all the way from the dollar, or the currencies from the dollar, euro, pound, Aussie, and Swiss. And the weakest ones right now, at least short term, the last 15 minutes or so, are the yen and the New Zealand currency. So let's take a look and see what we have to trade. First thing I'm going to do is tell you what I have going on myself, and then we'll talk over some of the charts a little. So this is a trade that I've had on since, I think it was since yesterday. Short on the Australian US dollar. Currently up about 15 pips or so. Looking to pull my stops down here a little bit with you all live. I was looking at some of the levels and where to bring them, and I'm not going to go down all the way to break even yet. Currently, my stops on the Aussie dollar short are at 76.70 now. And I'll do a little modifying here. Bear with me for just a moment. All right, there we go. So that's where I have Aussie dollar short. We're sort of being wary for this Chinese news to come out, and it did come out a little bit early. The news in China, if you're new to Forex trading, is a lot of times it's variable. The time, a lot of it's tentative news. You know, they posted it for 8 o'clock, and you can see the non-manufacturing PMI came out at 754. The news came out fairly close to expected, maybe a little bit better than expected out of China, which can be closely related to the Australian dollar currency. So that's my current trade right now on the Aussie dollar short. Targets are at 76.18, right down in this area here. So about 25, 28 pips to go to the target. I have about 15 to 17 pips of profit so far. So we're going to let that run for now. The trade of the day that I was talking about a lot was the Euro CAD. So I want to touch on that right away with y'all. Sort of excited to get a new trading computer, but frustrated because I paid people to come and fix it and speed it up and get rid of all the junk, and bought some new pieces and added more RAM, and this thing's like super high end, but I think it's just starting to go. So I'm sorry if the video is a little laggy here. Usually when I move my hand around, you can see the lag and it gets all choppy and things, but we'll see. Video card and everything, tried it all. EuroCAD, the trade that we had earlier today was basically to try to get price to pull back up to the 1.4300 level, and we just never got there. It just continued to push further south, further south, further south, and we're currently sitting at 142.49 now. I still think selling the euro versus the Canadian is a good idea, especially with the chatter out of the oil and crude market with OPEC, starting to cut a little bit more, especially in Russia. That was the talk this morning. WTI crude. Russia is agreeing to cut, I think it was 200,000 barrels per day and others possibly coming on. So we saw WTI crude start to push higher, which could, of course, strengthen our Canadian dollar, and it definitely did. The part that was mixed about it was the dollar also gained strength. So we've seen this infamous 60 pip V bottom put in on the dollar CAD, 15-minute chart here. And another reason why the dollar CAD and I don't get along that well over the last few years. So I didn't trade the dollar CAD, chose to stay away from it, and got in on the Euro CAD instead. And I have a smaller order on my other account. Managed to take a few pips off of this account here today, right during the end of Andrew's stream, the London wrap up. So where do we go from here on the Euro CAD? I still think we're going lower. So this is my look on the Euro CAD short. I think that we will get down to around 41 and change, maybe 41.10. Targets somewhere in this area. This is coming up on the 61.8 fib level of the entire move up, and also coming in on a key psychological level of 41. And then also this area of tentative support here, if we look left, that was put in around March 1st. So I still think we have a room to go down on the Euro CAD. This might not be the worst little pullback to get short. We had about a 50 pip pullback. So I think I'm going to take a look at getting short on that again soon. Reloading, if you will. Euro pound has still been pushing down pretty nicely. Currently sitting right around the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement of this move to the upside that we had since February 22nd, putting in the highs here around March 13th. Euro pound, as you may know, is one of the I see trading computer here. Thanks, J Money. I know. Trust me. I've seen the main. I haven't seen this link, but I've seen the main sites on the big boys trading computers, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to open the bank account up that far yet, but be nice. You really don't need that much power for a trading computer. We only got these little ticks. It's the videos and all the other things that suck it up, of course, but not to get too sidetracked there. Euro pound, you see this head and shoulders sort of here on the 30-minute, and you can see it on the hourly and other time frames as well. And this neckline here, this tentative gray box, this is sort of the rough neckline. And we talked about this morning. Roughly to the top was about 100 pips. I like to draw a more defined neckline on my head and shoulders patterns, but this is not a clean one by any means. If we just estimate roughly 100 pips, that would put us down to around 85.25 or so on the Euro pound to the downside as a possible pattern play on simply a head and shoulders pattern. That would put us right up in this area here. That could possibly be a little bit of support here. We put in swing lows back in the beginning of March 1st or so. So basically right now, Euro pound, I'm staying to the sidelines. I think that this move is extended. I think we may see some retracement. I'm definitely not in a position to buy Euro pound, and I'm not going to get short at this level. So what I'll do is just tuck that away here. I'd be more apt to sell the Euro CAD than the Euro pound. Euro Aussie, my favorite currency pair, is sitting right on this trend line. And we were drawing them this morning either to the bottom wicks or to the real bodies here, almost to the real bodies. And we can see that price action is currently stuffed right into these areas. So possible area of reversal, also the 50% Fibonacci retracement of the whole move on the Euro Aussie. This move that started back in February on the 22nd and put in the highs around March 27th here on the daily time frame. So we've had some, 3 solid days of downward bearish momentum on the Euro Aussie. But the question is, are we done? And in the next, day of trading, 12 to 24 hours from now, there really isn't much news coming out of the Australian currency. We have Great British Pound news coming out at 3:30 a.m. Central Time, and then Canadian news, the GDP, The euro, in my opinion, I think is the sort of skeleton in the closet, if you will, with this currency pair. I think the Aussie is going to be slightly weak, hence my selling of the Australian dollar. But the euro is variable. I mean, the euro pound's been going down. We know the pound has been strong. The euro's been weak. So, to buy this right now with a fairly weak euro, I don't think it'd be the best idea. I mean, basically we have two currencies that are sort of equally weak at this time, the euro and the Aussie. There's definitely, room to the upside. If we could push up 40, 50 pips to around 40, 20, 40, 30, wouldn't be the worst time to get short again. The question is, will this trend line hold? Will the trend line hold here? If it doesn't, down we go. But I don't see any other notable support at this level other than the all-important trend line in the 50% fib. So that might be enough. You can see we definitely are hesitating there. Price is definitely consolidating at this area. Granted, we're in Tokyo session now, which is a little quieter. So really right now, the trade that I liked for the day was selling Euro CAD. But now we're getting that yen weakness coming in. A few of you in the room have been trading the pound yen to the upside. On the minute chart, we had this nice impressive move up, pushed all the way up 50 pips or so in a matter of minutes. Now we have this bullish flag. It's not technically a flag, because the flag would come down in the end, but bullish triangle or bullish wedge. That is definitely a bullish pattern to the upside on the pound. The thing that I'm watching is this on the daily. We talked about this earlier as well. This descending trend line. Now the top of this wick, just to bring it back to, the big picture, this is put in on December 15th of 2016. And we are breaking out of this pretty impulsively. We do have a fairly strong area of support resistance coming in over here. If you look left, I'll put a little line in here. And that's a ways away, 50 pips away. But the pair has definitely been consolidating. A few other analysts have been watching, this wedge, trying to play the break to either side because of all the consolidation that we've seen. And we did break to the downside, but now we're pushing impulsively higher due to the weakening yen. Dollar yen has the same look to it here. Of course, we had this descending trend line here that was broke, came back, retested, pushed up. The very important level that a lot of traders were watching were 111.60 to 111.70. That was the area of resistance to the upside. And if we draw a little line here at 111.70 or so, give or take a pip, you can see we broke through, came back, retested, and continued, and really pushed up impulsively, a good 40-some pips to the north. We were keeping an eye on this. This is the hourly. It'll be a little easier to see on the 4-hour here. On this sort of inverted head and shoulders, you could call it a cup and handle pattern, that sort of rounding bottom coming in. But if you look left on the 4-hour, we also have some fairly strong topside resistance here. So I'm mixed on the dollar yen right now. Not commodities, indices today in the U.S., the stock market, the Dow closed up 69 points, S&P up about 7, and the NASDAQ up about 16.5. So positive day, basically, risk off for the world markets here, which can weaken the yen. All right, guys, sorry for that. Just had to mute out for a second. Had the dogs barking in the back. Let's take a look here. Jenny says, Gold keeps pushing down, of course. Your next resistance is what I'm looking at, 140.40. Yeah. Loud and clear on that. I wanted to pull up gold again here. This is the trade that I posted in the room as well. I'm going to pull my stops down here a little bit closer on gold. I don't care to trade gold and silver during the Tokyo session. It's just been more profitable for me to trade the metals. And look at me, I look burned out here with these lights. Sorry guys, I'm feeling sort of terrible here. But my mind's not working up to full speed. But I like to trade the metals, you know, gold, silver, oil, more around the beginning or during or shortly after U.S. market open. That tends to be what has treated me the best over the years. So I also noticed that, you know, of course, the spreads are a little bit better on gold and silver at that time versus Tokyo session. We're coming right up at 1240 area of support here on gold. What's interesting about gold is if you look at the 4-hour chart here and the daily, if we zoom out to the daily here and the 4-hour, 1240 90s, 1241, there really is no noticeable support all the way down until about 1235. So my target on gold is going to be right around 1236. So I'm going to edit that with you here in real time. There we go. And just looking at this trade, we have our very important greater than 1-to-1 reward to risk. Got about a $7.75 profit target and about a $3.70 stop. Currently, I'm sitting up about 320 bucks on that trade, up about 258 on the Aussie. Hey, Joey. I look like I'm feeling better. Oh, that's funny. No, I don't feel better at all. I actually took a nap for about an hour and a half today, and I was just sweating. So I'm just trying to suck it up here and try to give you guys some content that actually pays off for y'all. And then I'm going to be back down in my fetal position for a little while. What do you think about New Zealand dollar short? Let's take a look at it. New Zealand dollar. Here's my naked charts again. New Zealand dollar short, to me, looks pretty good for a few reasons. One of the things that we talked about a lot in the premium room the last few weeks was how Governor Wheeler came in and we were sitting at about 73, 0.73 in the New Zealand dollar. And he wanted to get this thing all the way back down to 70, which was basically, you know, right where we're sitting now. And it happened. I mean, we went right down. We came all the way down to below 69 and then pulled back up. The short on the New Zealand dollar, I've been watching a little bit more on the Aussie versus New Zealand as well, trying to get a feel for this currency pair. It's a pair that I haven't traded a lot. I know some of the old expert advisors, like the old, if you remember, what's that one that was real big for a long time? Had the whole scammy feel to it. One of you, I'm sure, will chime in. Used to trade Aussie, New Zealand all the time. All the people getting rich off that thing. It was funny. I forget what it's called, but that's when I started to watch Aussie New Zealand a little bit, and I got turned off to it. So which one's going to be a better trade? Aussie New Zealand actually looks very good to the short side because we took out the areas of support here, and we don't have any notable areas of support coming in until about 69, 70s. Which would put us about 20 pips. And then it's game off all the way down to the next level, which is around 69.50. So I think New Zealand dollar going down is a decent trade. We have some rejection candles here on the 4-hour. We have the nice bearish engulfing candle on the daily. So I think Kuaku, I think that's a great trade. New Zealand dollar short. Nice one. Where to enter it, though, you know, I think you could be, if you entered it now, you'd have to have your stops up a little ways up. There hasn't been a lot of movement here in the currency. This looks quite impressive on the chart, but from current price action to the swing high is only about 13 pips. So I think it looks pretty good to the downside. Preferably, if we, if I could have my way, it would be nice if we could see it shoot back up to 70 to get short again. But I think it's pretty controlled. I think you got a good one there. Yeah, Joey says New Zealand is weakening, I think. Right, and the New Zealand has been weak for a while, of course. So I think this is a good trade. Looks pretty good. Is the pound dollar likely to rally to 130 before depreciating? That's a tough one. We've seen, if you've been in the chat room today, I know I've been in here most of the day since probably 8 this morning. I've been out for a little while here and there, but basically good 12 hours. There is a fair number of people that are pretty strongly biased towards avoiding the Great British Pound, simply because of all the stuff with Brexit going on, Article 50 and Theresa May and that kind of thing. So I'm going to do a similar thing. I'm going to avoid the pound versus the dollar. And if I want to trade a dollar-based pair, I'm going to stick to the euro or the Aussie, maybe New Zealand. I think this pound dollar chart looks very rough, very unpredictable. We have new highs, new lows, then we have new highs and a lot of whippiness here. If you were to take a trade on the pound and you wanted to get in on the pound, I think the best bet would be to sell the euro pound or buy the pound yen. Pound Swiss is also a good pair, but I haven't looked at it for so many months. I'm not going to go down that road with you. But that's what I would like to see. So BNB trades, I think selling euro pound or buying pound yen is a better trade than getting involved in a possible long on the pound dollar. I think you're going to have more controlled risk. You're going to be able to avoid the uncertainty that we have with the DXY and the US dollar, because we know what happened on the dollar index today, right? Broke above 100 and currently sitting at 100.40. So dollar index is a little bit unpredictable right now. We have Trump coming on his Twitter feed and saying about talking about China and how we can't have trade deficits anymore, talking about currency manipulators earlier today. So dollar index, DXY, is unpredictable, I think, at the moment. So I would have tried to avoid short-term dollar-based pairs and stick to the crosses. Euro pound short, pound yen long. I like euro CAD short, gold short. Gold short's doing pretty good here. Nice job. Yeah. New Zealand pound, never traded that before. Yeah, you got it. Cool. I don't know if Will wants me to tell you this or not, but he's one of the owners, of course, if you don't know, here at Forex Signals. He is the guy behind all the programming and building this site from scratch. But I want to show you this because I feel like, I don't know if he has if there's any bugs in it or anything, but I think it's worth looking at. Let's see if I can find it here. All right, if I zoom in here a little bit for you. Actually, I'm not going to zoom in. So a feature that was just added, if you refresh your chat room later on, if you do it now, everything's going to restart. So don't do it yet. But they have he added a new feature today. There's a lot of new things coming. We've been telling you that for a long time, especially in the premium room. But I think this is a cool feature. If you click on one of the trade ideas, let's say you go down and show more. Let's say, I don't know if you can see this one here, Euro USD. If you click on the Euro USD, it will show all the trade ideas for Euro USD for quite a while. All right, now he just added that, so I don't know how long it's going to go. If you want to see all the trade ideas by Andrew, you click on Andrew's name or anybody's name, and it'll show all the trade ideas for Andrew. So Will just added that. That's a really good idea, and there's some really other cool features coming here. So again, I don't think it goes back all that far, but you can see all of Andrew's trades. Anybody that's on here. FX Aussie, you click on that, you'll see FX Aussie's trade ideas. You can crank on or click on Aussie dollar. You'll see all the trade ideas, including this one that I posted to be short Aussie dollar. It's pretty cool, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of really cool things coming, and there's some other things too that I don't know when they're going to be out. So I'm not going to tell you about them right now, but there's some cool things coming. And I'm personally pleased that we have the rooms combined now so you can get everything all together. We don't have to be flipping back and forth. I think it's cool. Yeah, so and then you hit reset search on the top here to reset it back to the way it was. Of course, you have the contest tab, and I think you know how to work that. I'm just going to give you 5 seconds. Some people don't know this. Right here where it says top trader leaderboard, that's for all the history, and just for the month you can click on the top trader March, and you can click on each trader and see how they're doing with all their trades, see all their performance there. The contest requirement is to trade with one of the brokers that we use and have a minimum $1,000 account balance. And then of course it pays out the top 3 places each month, $750, $500, and $250. And if you want to click one of the interviews here, you can listen to the interview that I've done with each trader here on SoundCloud. And you can also read some of the text below. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we have some really cool things. So I think that being here at Forex Signals is a great thing. Obviously, I'm biased, but there's a reason that I'm here working with all of them. You know, we've all become close friends, and I don't want to get off on a tangent and waste your time here tonight. But if you think about what we have here at Forex Signals, I think it's just awesome. We have these partnerships with brokerages, like, for example, LMFX for U.S. clients. You get full service support, VIP, like you're top of the list. They got people assigned just to the people with Forex Signals for support. You got the chat room, you got the contest, you got the FX propulsion strategy, the indicator, the trader ideas. You got 3 of us live streamers here trying to do at least, I mean, minimum one stream a day. A lot of days it'll be 2 times a day each. So you have, 3 to 6 live streams a day and all the recordings. And of course, the forums, a lot of cool things. Yo-Yo doesn't sleep. I got that by yesterday, Jesse says. Cool. So again, Tokyo session, notorious for being a little bit more quiet, a little bit more reserved. Again, I'm going to go ahead and put a little short order on the EuroCAD right now. And I'm going to come back and assess this later, 142.94. Not going to get crazy with it, because I think we might have a little retracement up still. But I like to have it come up to 143 or so. We'll see if it pushes up, and we can reload again. So that's my bias right now for the night. EuroCAD short, Euro Pound short, Euro Aussie mixed, short on Aussie dollar. Liking the possibility of a short sell here on New Zealand dollar. Bias to the upside on the yen pairs now. Most notably pound yen, and currently short on gold here. And that's really it. Be wary of pound trades because of the news coming in overnight. I'm going to pull this down a little bit more here. Gold. So trading not too bad this week. Had some winners, had some losers. Pretty much every week out of the last 4 to 6, maybe 7 weeks so far, when I've been in the Premium Room Live, and you guys can vouch for me, there have been positive weeks. Some have been really, really good. Some have been just okay, but no losing weeks so far. This week's sort of mixed. I got a couple stops here. I got one stop on the dollar yen, but I pulled it down. Another one on pound yen. Hit profit on a couple trades, so we're sort of mixed this week. Currently right now in profit on the Aussie dollar and gold short, and made a little bit of money today selling Euro CAD. So, that's how it goes. Onward and upward. Build the account, take your withdrawals, enjoy yourself. Why 1236 only on gold? Well, let's look at that. Basically, the reason I put the profit of 1236 on gold is this area right here, this area of support. And to be honest, I since I'm not feeling the best, I'm not going to be up late tonight. Not going to be getting up at all overnight, hopefully. And if I can get down to 1236, I'll be real happy with that. There is definite support there. I'm not real sure exactly what's going to happen in the beginning of London session, of course. And if we can, here's what I think. I think this move between, let me zoom out here a little bit for you. Let's do this. This move between 1240 and 1236, I think will be fairly straightforward. And I'm just looking to take a nice bite out of it down to this point. I think we're going to have some hesitation and consolidation down there. Could it definitely move more? If you look at the daily, I mean, this thing could come down quite a bit. Sort of a double top here. Gold could come down a long ways. But I'm pretty happy with that. If I can get that amount, I'm okay with it. If it were early in the, if it were U.S. session open and I was able to be around throughout the day, I think I would move my take profits down a little bit and lock in and try to stair step the stops and the profit. We also have this 38.2 level coming in around 1236.50. Yeah, Joey, no problem, man. Got a limit on EuroCAD, nice one. What after with gold? What after? I think gold's going to continue down. Now, the big elephant in the room is the DXY. What's going to happen with the dollar index? And I think that's the biggest question of all the questions right now, at least for me in the Forex world. What's going to happen with the DXY? And that's going to take a play. I mean, we could see a bounce up on gold and then a move back downwards. I think gold's going to come down. That's just my longer term play. I think on the 4 hour here, we're going to see a pullback to 1225 or so before we start to pull back up, but we'll see. That's my overall bias, at least. Cool. You got it. You got it. That's the best I can do for you guys. I'll be a little bit more high performance here soon once I knock out this cold or flu or whatever I have. But at least to give you some information, we can chatter about some things. Keep an eye on things and be safe, especially if you're trading the pound overnight. We all know it's touchy. I'm probably the most motivated for pound yen long or euro pound short regarding the pound. Otherwise, it's euro CAD short, gold short, and Aussie dollar short. Really going to have to watch this euro Aussie level. Euro Aussie level, this trend line is starting to break down. If that pushes down, that's going to give some strength to our Australian currency. So I'll have to keep an eye on that Aussie dollar short that I have running. Might be a little more appealing to tap into the New Zealand dollar short. So we'll just see. Cool. I'll see you all in the morning. Have a great night. And if you need anything, feel free to shoot me an email, jason@forexsignals.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great night. Thanks.